Have you been there? When you hear your teacher call your name, but it sounds like they're a million miles away. Immediately, your palms and your face and maybe even your armpits start to sweat. You try to swallow the golf ball-sized lump in your throat. You stand up out of your desk, walk toward the front of the classroom in what feels like
slow motion.
Sounds like your heart is beating in your ears, and then your mind starts to race. What if my presentation isn't good enough? What if I sound stupid? What if I trip over my words? Worse, what if I trip over my feet? Speaking of my feet, are my shoes cool enough? How are my clothes? Is my hair okay? Is there something in my teeth? Can they tell I'm sweating? Can they tell I'm shaking? What if it's not good enough? I don't think I can do this. Do you know that feeling? Girls, maybe sometimes you feel it when your mom drags you to JCPenney to try on clothes in front of those awful 7-angle mirrors. Nothing is hidden. Every pimple on your face, every inch of parts of your body that you don't like, every hair out of place is on full display. Guys, maybe you feel it in PE class when you're walking up to the pull-up bar and all you can think of is, what if I'm not strong enough? What if I can only do like 2 pull-ups or none at all? What if the other dudes think I'm weak? Worse, what if the girls do? Have you been there? You know that feeling. It's the feeling of being insecure, not sure if you're skilled enough or good enough or accepted enough. The last 3 weeks we've been in a series called Antisocial. We're talking about the fact that you can't be a Christ-centered difference maker if you aren't willing to be around people and interact with them. But we know that this is often hard. We've been talking about 4 fears that easily get in the way of us interacting with the people around us and letting God use us. Fears like, it's awkward, it's scary, I just don't care, and this week, I'm insecure. Today I want to share with you a story of a dude in the Bible who was super insecure. You heard me right. People in the Bible were insecure, just like you and me. His name was Moses, and the story of his life is found in the Old Testament of the Bible. That was even before Jesus was alive, which makes it like really, really, really old. Like older than your great, 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 great grandfather. Moses was born a Hebrew baby. That's the nationality of God's people in the Bible. However, due to some crazy circumstances that I will not go into at this time, people tried to kill him and a lot of other Hebrew babies. Crazy, I know. You can read about it in the book of Exodus if you can't contain your curiosity. It's a cool story. There's a basket in a river. Trust me, it's good. Moses was raised by Egyptian rulers in the house of Pharaoh. That's like the Egyptian king, but think more headdresses and cats and mummies and hieroglyphics rather than crowns and knights and swords. The Hebrew people are slaves to the Egyptians. Some stuff goes down. Again, I'm not gonna go into it now, but you should really go read about it in the Bible, book of Exodus, it's right there. So Moses runs away to this place called Midian. He marries into a super cool family and becomes a shepherd of his father-in-law's sheep. One day, while Moses was out taking care of the sheep, he came across this bush that was on fire, but it wasn't being burnt up. The Bible says in Exodus 3:3, so Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. Well, yeah, dude. That's the thought we would all have. It's pretty weird and cool and weird. Go check it out. When he went over to the bush, the Bible says God spoke to him from inside the bush, saying, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. So now, go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of Egypt. If I were Moses, this would be me. And Moses does basically that. But Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? Moses was insecure and essentially says, God, how could you use me? God responds and assures Moses that he will be with him. But Moses again basically says, well, what if they don't think it's really God that sent me? And God responds and tells him exactly what to say and exactly what to do. Moses, still insecure, asks, "What if they don't listen to me?" God responds by using Moses to perform 2 miracles right then and there, and assures Moses that with God's power, people will listen to him. Moses then says, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I'm slow of speech and tongue." Now, most people believe that this means that Moses had a stutter when he spoke. And it makes total sense why he'd feel insecure about going and basically being a public speaker, standing up to the Pharaoh of Egypt, and essentially leading an entire nation out of real-life slavery. But God responds to Moses' insecurities about his stutter and says, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." God didn't take away Moses' stutter. God looked at Moses and his insecurities and still said, "You're my guy. You're the guy I want for the job." Have you ever felt like Moses? Are you sitting there like, "This church stuff is kind of cool. I like my coach. The music and the games are pretty fun. Sometimes I win candy. But God couldn't use me." Just like Moses, we start to insert our list of insecurities. I'm too young. I've done bad stuff already. I don't think I know everything about the Bible. People might think I'm weird. People already think I'm weird. Students, Moses' story is one of the most important stories in the Old Testament. Why? Because after all of that, he did it. Empowered by God, he went to Egypt, stutter, insecurities and all. He stood up to Pharaoh and led the Hebrew people out of slavery. A lot of their stuff goes down. There's plagues and frogs and locusts and boils, and then a legit sea gets split in half. It's like a whole thing. Again, you should go read about it. Just like Moses, when God looks at you, he doesn't see your insecurities as limitations to what he can do through you. God doesn't really care if you think you can do it, because he knows that he can do it, and he wants to do it with and through you. God's ability isn't lessened by your insecurity. So, could we be less insecure in ourselves and more secure in our God? If we could do that, who knows what God could do through us? Maybe it would bring a friend to church. Maybe it's just telling your friends that you go to church. Maybe it's starting a Bible study at your school. Maybe it's inviting that kid at lunch to sit with you, who people think is weird. Maybe it's being respectful to your parents or nice to your siblings. Maybe it's not exactly leading a nation out of slavery, yet at least. But being a Christ-centered difference maker to the people around you, even when you're insecure, could very well change their life and yours in the process. Students, can we, insecurities and all, move beyond our fears and antisocial tendencies and do what God is asking us to do? All because we know that when God looks at us, he says, "Even with your insecurities, you're my guy. You're the guy I want for the job."